to Real Talks.
Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of what? Okay, all the banners say Real Dialogue. Last time I called it Real Talks. We've had a group decision. Real Talks sounds like a better name for a show.
Sounds better.
From now on, we'll call it Real Talks on penalty of death. We call anything else. Okay. So we're gonna start season 2 of Infinity Train today.
Escalated quick.
It is. I'm really into escalation today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start or season 2 of Infinity
Season
Train.
2.
Season
Yeah,
2.
there you go.
Or series 2 if you're in the UK.
Ooh.
Now, last time you guys had some guesses on who is going to be the protagonist.
It's me.
Right.
Okay.
No, you guess the conductor.
Yeah, you guys are saying the
maybe.
conductor.
Mm-hmm. Or the cat.
Or the cat.
The cat might be a good one.
Cat would be good.
Or it's Tulip's friend.
Oh,
Michaela, I think her name was. Something like that.
You knew that name well.
no, he
too
didn't.
well.
No. His reaction.
Spoilers.
Not her.
Okay.
It was.
Well, it's just that I also have a team leader at work named Michaela, so it's easy to remember.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Also, I edited the video that she was in at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
It should be the parents.
Oh, it should be. Okay, but now we're gonna find out who it really is.
Okay.
Oh, are you ready? Oh, let me
Were
close
we close?
Windows. I have to. Oh, yeah, I have to share screen, don't I? All right.
Well, if you want us to watch it, we could just listen to it, I
Did
guess.
anyone say one? No.
Nothing.
Pretty quiet.
But can you hear anything?
No.
No. Oh, man. Is it Tulip's? It's Tulip's.
You figured it out.
The mirror image of Tulip.
Oh, it's the reflection.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the proper word.
Oh, share sound. Yeah, I forgot to hit share sound. Let me try that again. Okay.
I don't think he will. Is that thing?
Okay, now I'm gonna start it again.
It was two, but one was not Tulip, but kind of.
I have to start again so it doesn't look like I'm an idiot when I had to go back and do
Oh,
it.
don't worry. I'm over here just being real dumb.
Okay. Now we're going to play and we'll find out who
Reflection rent.
I couldn't remember the word reflection, so it's been a long day. That. Here we go. Tulip round 2. The murderer. Well, she's made out of metal. I don't think that would have worked.
Fresh batch of passenger memory tapes. 2 for 1. Today only. Real sad. Hey, sweetie. You're shiny. Let me take a closer look. No!
Hello, Slipper.
Criminal!
loser. Not again.
Hey, come on, I'm walking. You go do your thing and I'll do mine. Why are you still here? You like this stuff, huh? So, what's your deal? I hear that. You from around here? Huh, glad you asked. Nope, I'm not. I'm from a place called the Chrome Car. Well, that's what Tulip, my prime, called it. It's actually called the Mirror World. Yeah, don't go there, it sucks. That's where those Flecks are from. Hate those guys. They've been chasing me just because I don't want to live the rest of my life as somebody's Was a deer? Hey, come on, where'd you go? Deer? Deer! Deer!
Oh, yeah. Looking good. Okay, now just don't move.
Hey, leave him alone!
Whoa! Hi, I'm Jesse. What's your name?
I don't care who you are! Why are you putting sunglasses on a deer?
Because it's funny? Look at him. Look at you. Oh, come on! Those are mine! Some of the cars here are really bright.
He didn't ask for glasses. He's just living his life.
But he's my deer. We've been hanging out for a whole hour. Maybe even a little more.
He's free. He's his own deer. But if he was anyone's deer, he'd be my deer because I hung out with him longer, like 2 days.
Are you sure? I got all these pics with him.
No.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe we should go with something everyone would be into. What's everyone's favorite name? Oh, Alan! It's Alan. Wait. That's it. Alan Dracula. Let's try it out. Hello, have you met my dear Alan Dracula? Oh, yeah. Sounds like something I'd say. Good idea, Chrome Girl.
No! That's not his name, and that's not my name. You can't go around deciding names for people without asking. It's their choice to...
Alan Dracula!
No!
He's all right. What?
Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh my
It
goodness.
just abruptly ends like that?
yeah. Well,
That
it
was
continues
super
right into
fast.
the Episode.
Those what?
It continues right. The next episode will just take off right from there.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
This is season's about two people, and one of them is she doesn't have a name yet.
Oh, she doesn't.
I thought she gave herself a name, though, the first one.
I think she calls. Well, she will. I can't remember if she did it in this episode. I think she will in the next one. She'll tell us to call her, but she doesn't technically have a name yet. In fact, in the first season, she says, "I don't even have a name."
Hmm. So you've seen all of these?
I've seen the first 3 seasons. I haven't seen the fourth one,
Okay.
but I'll stay off watching the fourth one in case we decide to do that one. We can just all go in blind.
Yes.
Ooh,
'Cause-
I like it.
yeah.
But there's some interesting news from the 3rd season we'll have to go over first. Okay, so I just want your prediction. So there's that other guy.
Okay.
He introduced himself. His name is Jesse.
Uh-huh.
I just want any guesses. They haven't given you a lot of clues yet, but what do you think?
On who he is?
Yeah. What's his issue? Might you guess?
Oh, what his issue might be.
So he's a passenger. She isn't.
Yeah.
Reflection is not a passenger. She doesn't have a number. She doesn't have anything to
Right.
work to get off the train. She does have issues, obviously.
Yeah.
What-
Was there hints that he had about his
There
issues?
haven't been yet. I think the hints might come up a
Okay.
little more in the next one.
Okay.
He's very
I'm gonna start taking bets.
happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, he seems. He seems
Like,
in a
he
good
seems-
place.
Yeah.
I mean, one is still depressed.
Well, yeah, but half of one is always depressed.
Yeah, that's so like one's bipolar.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And so off subject, but I was thinking about this last week, like with the whole thing, like because with one being the conductor, I'm like, he's not going to be a good conductor. He's going to be a bad conductor
Well,
too.
he's
And
not
then-
really the conductor. He's
Well, right, but head of the
key
train.
the train.
Yeah, so like, I don't think he's going to be very good. Because I was thinking maybe the conductor and how her number kept getting bigger. Maybe it's because he was a bad
No,
leader.
No, she was doing bad things to the train. She was doing bad things,
And
to
that was
everybody.
making it worse.
And that
That's
was
true.
making.
Yeah.
it
So
worse.
I just wonder-
One is the conductor. Amelia had replaced him. She-
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
So sorry. Yeah. So Amelia. I meant to say Amelia.
Yeah, yeah.
So like Amelia's number was going up, and I wonder if it's because he was doing a bad job of conducting Amelia. Not because of that, because she was still making bad choices to perpetuate everything. But I wonder if part of it was like he wasn't trying to meet her where she's at. And hear me out, because
He actually explained this.
oh, he did.
Yeah, well, she did.
No, she said she wanted a train, and he wouldn't give her one.
No, she wanted her own car where her
Yeah.
husband. is.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
To make a car to recreate her perfect life.
Right. And so
Do that
here's what
because that meant her avoiding her problem.
Right. And then we were talking about the whole enabling thing and all this stuff. And so, because I was thinking about it, I will not, no one mentioned any names, but I have some experience with some people who have some hoarding issues. And I've dealt with a few people who have some hoarding issues. And I've come in, no, definitely not Steve, but I've come in. He's wondering. No, because I've come in to help someone who struggles with hoarding, like blunt force trauma, like this has got to go, that's got to go, this has got to go. And then they just like don't trust you. They don't want you touching their stuff. They don't want any help. You know, they just totally shut down. And so I've learned, because I have had multiple experience trying to help people with this problem, that if something really matters to them, respect it. Whether I it's not logical at all. It's going to be an irrational thing. But if they have these like papers that just can't be thrown away, just say, okay, I'm going to put this in this box. And once they know that you care about what matters to them, even if it doesn't matter to me, right? If they know that I care because they care, then their guard comes down, and then they're like, because they can see that I'm willing to meet them where they're at and say, okay, well, she's not just going to come in, go crazy and throw everything out. I'll like ask them and say, can we put this in this pile, this in this pile, or whatever. And that's how you can figure out what they are willing to let go of. And then you just make a pile of things they're not willing to let go of yet. And then eventually they kind of do end up being able to let go of it. Because once they can see the benefits of letting go of the other things, they can start to let go of more things that at first they weren't willing to let go
Does that
of.
strategy actually work though?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. In my experience, that is how it worked.
So that person is now no longer a hoarder.
Has a lot, not completely cured,
Right.
but made massive progress.
Okay, fair enough. So you're thinking 1-1 maybe wasn't doing the greatest job. I could agree in the sense that he is forcing people to deal with their problem before he lets them go home, which maybe is not.
So it's kind of rough. Like, as if you're just
Well, and I
not
just think-
ready.
And I do appreciate the whole, because sometimes, because leaders are just leaders, right? They're not perfect, they're people. And so like, sometimes people can mean well by pushing too far, but really they haven't really taken the time to
but
understand.
on the other side of the
where
coin,
you're at.
Amelia did ruin the lives of everyone else on the train when she took it over.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that I wonder if it could have exasperated each other.
Did
Yeah.
they?
Whereas if he was willing to give her a car, meet her where she's at, and then kind of
Oh, that'd be
feed things-
basically just putting her in a prison. Like, okay, you're just going to live out the rest of your life in this imaginary car.
No. Hear me out. I'm just saying, like, help her get comfortable, and then once she's comfortable, then you can find like the windows of
How to help.
of where you could help.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of like people who are addicted to something like serious drugs.
That's
Like
Yeah,
you
you
can't
can't-
just give them drugs. Like you do have to give them something to treat their addiction, but you can't just
Yeah.
give them drugs every time they ask for it because they're not ever going to move away from it.
No,
No,
but
but
going
it's-
cold turkey's not good either.
Yeah, because
No, I agree, but I think that's what the train's purpose is it's to help you deal with the problem without going cold turkey.
Oh, okay.
Like everything you're doing on the train is a little bit of a step towards your goal, right? Like he's not saying get to zero in this one car. It's like you take the time you need. All these cars will progress you slowly. Like if you look at Tulip's
Right.
progression in season 1, it wasn't
Right.
like all of a sudden you have to learn this lesson. It's like he has a lot of little lessons.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like, but they never go into enough depth to know for sure. But in future episodes, a little bit more does get explained in this regard. I don't think. Well, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to ruin future stuff.
Okay.
But so
back to this
Bats. Okay, so first of all, I think we can see in this episode.
Yeah.
Reflection has an issue.
yeah.
She doesn't have a number, so it's not like
From
the
the
train's
get-go,
helping her,
you can
but she
see
does
that.
have issues she needs to work on.
Yes. For reflection.
But is that like her issues, or is those just Tulip's issues that she never actually
It's
resolves?
entirely. I think the point is supposed, and I could be wrong. I think the point is supposed to be she's a completely different person than Tulip.
Entity, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think that was part of the issue. She's an entirely different person than Tulip. The stuff that
Mhm.
she seems to be struggling with, Tulip didn't seem to struggle with.
Yeah, that's
If you look
true.
at like Mirror,
Like
sorry, I almost said her name that she hasn't introduced yet.
Oh.
But the reflection was when she's talking about the deer and how deers don't have owners and they should be free to do whatever, right?
Yeah, like she feels trapped or owned somehow. Well, I
Yeah.
guess she was
Yeah,
because
so
she was
that's her
Tulip's
issue.
reflection.
Oh, so she's going to be hypersensitive about
She's
freedom.
hypersensitive about freedom. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when Jesse was saying, "Oh, this is my deer," she's like, "No, deers don't belong to it." You know, that's her big thing. That's one of her buttons.
Got it.
Which was not an
Mhm.
issue with Tulip.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyway, and then sorry, did you guys make a guess what you think Jesse's problem is? Okay, you can't really. You will. I think in the next episode you'll see a little bit.
Okay.
At least you'll have some groundwork to guess. So let's go to that.
Alan Dracula! Oh, we're on top of a tree. Oh, hey!
If you hadn't distracted me with that ridiculous name, I would have noticed he walked away.
And it's too late to change it. I already put him on my phone as Alan Dracula. See? Oh, right. He's still in here just as Dracula.
Not dealing with this. He could be hurt.
Wow. Do you have, like, special metal strength?
No, I just don't feel pain like you with your squishy flesh. Huh.
Yeah. I am pretty squishy and, like, really good at feeling pain. If I fall, I'm gonna feel a ton of it.
Fine. Bye.
And you kids are standing on the mighty Gillicuddy family tree.
This ain't no stinking Gillicuddy family tree. This is the Trundleshank family tree. Patooey.
The Trundleshanks are angry because one of our descendants married one of theirs about 100 years ago, and now they have to live in our family tree.
Hey, maybe the Trundleshanks have seen Alan Dracula. Mr. and Mrs. Trundle?
Oh, no, you don't. As long as you're on our tree, you ain't allowed to talk to no bone-headed Trundleshanks.
I'll talk to whoever I want.
Hey, I know. You could name the tree after both your families. Like my friend Troy. He took both his parents' last names, so instead of being Troy Banks, now he's Troy Snooterly Banks. You shouldn't have left like that. Now they're mad at us.
They were being totally unfair.
But maybe they could help us find Alan Dracula. If we could get them to stop fighting.
They've been fighting for 100 years.
Well, I bet I can help. I'm friends with every kind of group at school.
Wow, fitting in. What a gift.
It's not like that. It just means I'm likable. Except to you, I guess. Why are you so mad at me?
Look, it has nothing to do with you. It's just... Okay, so... I used to have this friend named Tulip, and we did everything together. But as we grew up, I didn't have much in common with her anymore. But, My parents thought Tulip was perfect and wanted me to be exactly like her. So I had to stop hanging out with her so I could be free.
Why would you do that to your friend? That's crazy.
This is why I like hanging out with the deer. He doesn't tell me how I should act. Plus, he has cool powers, unlike you, who only has the power to annoy me.
If we want to get to Al and Dracula faster, we should talk to the families and do what they say.
Then leave me alone and go do that. I never asked you to follow me.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Trundleshank are mad because you Gillicuddy quadruplets broke their milk bottles every morning. Think you could apologize?
No, they never invited us to their kids' birthday parties.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough on a kid.
We couldn't afford to feed every child in town at our parties.
Yeah, that's a valid point, too. Affordability.
But we were the only kids who weren't invited.
Yeah, you shouldn't leave people out. That's true.
Hey, whose side are you on?
None of us are helping you get down this tree until you pick a side.
Well, I don't want anybody to get mad at me.
Choose!
How about we all try singing this great song together? It's called When I Look at You, I See Me.
Get off our branch!
Oh, great.
Oh, hi.
How was your popularity contest?
Well, trying to make everyone happy didn't really work out. Looks like your punching isn't doing much good either.
You probably slowed me down too much. If I'd gotten down here sooner, the branches wouldn't be this bad.
You don't know that.
Yeah? Well, you don't know anything and can't help anyone. You can't even help yourself. That's why passengers get on this train in the first place. Wait, Jesse, they moved a little.
You don't have to lie to me.
Jesse, really?
When I become a tree, I want you to move on with your life. Find Alan Dracula. Be happy. And please, no, I don't blame you. Maybe this was fate. Fated to be a tree boy. Ow! Why did you... I'm not a tree boy. What happened?
I kept my eyes open during the scary parts.
Alan Dracula!
Bleat once if you're okay, twice if you're hurt.
Alan Dracula!
Dear! Unbelievable!
Alan! A-Drac! Alan Dracula!
Hey, dear!
You're foolish as a fox in a
So, look, I guess I shouldn't have yelled at you so much, but only because it made this stupid tree grow.
Me too. Sorry.
I still want to be on my own with the deer, but technically, we are both his friend. Not us, we're not friends, but we're friends with him separately. So here's the only solution I can think of. I'll travel with you and help you get your number down.
Really?
But only because then you'll get off the train and I'll get to stay with, for lack of a better name, Alan Dracula.
Yes! Sorry.
Okay, so let's do this. What's your number at?
32.
I'll get you home in no time. What was it when you got on the train?
31.
Your number has gone up?
Ow! I don't know if you know how much metal hurts. I'm soft, squishy, you're hard and mean.
The endings seem more abrupt this series.
Season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a little more continuity in this one.
Mm,
Last one, I think there's like more time between episodes.
mm-hmm.
It seemed, well, at least so far, they're kind of like back to back, timeline wise. Okay, all right. So she gave herself a name,
MT.
which stands for
I
probably.
missed that. Mirror.
Mirror tulip.
Yeah,
Oh.
you didn't say that, but that's a good guess.
Hmm.
All right. Okay. Any guesses on this one on what Jesse's
Problem. He's a people pleaser. Disease to please.
Yeah. He's a people pleaser, which can be a problem.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see.
Here's my,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, here's my thing. Because people always come down on the people pleasing. Now I actually do not, and as someone who is not, I do not feel like a people pleaser.
Preach on.
I have, yeah, I don't give a frick-itis. Because I feel like they both cut both ways. You know,
Well,
like
I think either extreme, you're in a bad shape.
yeah. I feel like everything has its pros and cons, and people pleasing can be really not unhealthy and really not good.
Yeah,
But it can be really useful.
it can.
And so it's okay when people care about those things, and not caring what people think can have its perks, and it comes with its challenges.
Yeah, I think a lot of characteristics are like in moderation. They're
Yeah.
good. They're all good, or you know, but we're gonna see some more stuff in future episodes that kind of shows why this has been a detriment to him.
Oh.
Got it.
Yeah, but I won't explain what those things are just yet.
You love to watch us not knowing, Bryant.
Yeah,
Does it make you feel powerful?
Amber, I've grown my whole life. All I've seen is Amber not knowing. That's my burn of the day.
Brian's burn of the day.
Entertainment.
I think maybe he's being bullied or something like that at school
Well,
or
like,
something like that.
why does he need this to
Yeah,
please
like
so
I mean,
much, right?
or like maybe his parents are constantly fighting or something like that, so he's got to constantly appease both sides.
What's the one phrase he keeps saying? He like says it a lot.
It was the song.
Friends.
Huh?
No, he
That
says
song he keeps talking about.
No, there's a sentence he keeps saying. Yeah, whatever. But
Alan
yeah,
Dracula?
that's probably a key to what like the underlying issue is there.
Well, I think the main what we saw in this episode of that is when he was trying to negotiate between the two families.
And sometimes you can't.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where people pleasing sucks. Because where people pleasing sucks is that you can't
You can't
make
please,
decisions. You can't please
you
everybody.
can't please everybody.
And also, because people when it gets unhealthy is when you put how other people feel above how you feel
Yeah.
all the time, right? So everyone, like people pleasers are saying, oh, I need to make them feel good. I need to make them feel good, regardless of how garbage they're feeling.
Yeah.
And so that's where it gets toxic.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point, Amber, I just don't please anyone else. And that's probably the other extreme.
Right? That's me. I don't give a frickitis.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, if you care, that's your problem. Like, which isn't good either, because then I can just blow people off that without really trying and not get to know people that I probably could enjoy if I wanted to work for it.
This makes me think of last time. Didn't we have a little discussion on what your issue would be if you got on this train?
Yeah.
Would that be it for you?
No, we talked about it.
I can't remember. I haven't edited episodes 9 and 10 yet.
Yeah. So mine was I'm downtown Tokyo though, Brian. I have many trains. But like the one I mentioned last time, the one I mentioned last time was social proofing.
Oh, okay.
But then actually I realized that's actually not what it is. It's like a fear of rejection and what's the other one? Judgment. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection. It's just really easily triggered by people who care a lot about social proofing.
Right. I don't really know what social proving is.
Right. We talked about that last time, how you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
No, but
Don't.
This is why I thought I'd bring it up again, because
I need a reminder.
No, it was when people care about like your social network and like your who is your friend group and how much money do you have come from, how much money do your friends have? People are really status oriented.
I don't think this is a thing that's ever affected my life in any way.
Yeah, which is funny to me. I don't know, but like, I don't know why.
You were talking about, I think, in Dad's case, right? Because I think he grew up in an environment where that was kind of a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why, because remember, so my train that I brought up was like, if I was to guess where this comes from, this fear of rejection and judgment, it comes from dad singing me about his story.
Yeah, I remember
since
now.
I was little, since I was like 3, but not just dad. And then I would hear about mom and her stories. I'd hear about other people and their stories, people that I cared about a lot, and how they felt judged and rejected and what that did for them. That I just kind of inherited this fear of judgment and
But
rejection.
somehow that didn't rub off on uncaring, cold, heartless Bryant.
No. I don't think it rubbed off on anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
seems to be, this is my thing.
I would say in general, I don't know if this is a concern I've really heard from most of our siblings.
Fear of like rejection and
Think about a
judgment.
group of people that don't generally care what other people think. I don't think our family's too big on that in general.
No, and I think that's where it gets uncomfortable for me, is because naturally I don't in my heart, I don't care.
Right.
If I feel like that I should care to get the results I want for me and my family,
right,
then that's where anxiety can kick in. And I think it's because I don't naturally care that I'm like, I don't have the skills to even know where to begin to maneuver through this, because that's not how I
I
think.
feel like you're a whirlwind of conflicting emotions.
Always. Yeah.
Steve is nodding.
No, my thing is that I always have like my head's going over here, and my emotions are somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
What
I'm
you
going,
do is get rid of your emotions completely.
just step them
Feel
down.
nothing. Just numb it out.
Yeah.
Rub those out. Or
Yeah.
some people like to go the other way. Just rub the brain out entirely.
Right. And just
And
feel through
let the emotions
everything.
go hog wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser.
Steve has the, yeah.
All right. So are you Al? Are you basically Jesse?
Yeah.
Yes, in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I was in high school, when he said that I was friends with every group, that was basically me.
Steve even said that in the video.
Yeah,
He's
in
like,
the
that's
video, I
me.
was like, that's me. Like I was friends with the jocks, the goths, like I just had.
Well, I think that by itself is a good thing.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, that's why people pleasing.
yeah,
is
because
great.
it's like it's a good skill to have,
Yeah.
but it comes with its own challenges and downfalls and stuff like that. Because yeah, you get to a point where you're like, you are starting to put other people's feelings above your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I don't want to do that, but I'm going to because
so and so
wants me to, yeah, or I'm gonna, and then yeah, but then you hit a turning point all of a sudden, and you kind of realize you can't.
Just keeping it in check.
It's like I can still please as many people as I can, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like what Amber says. It's like you make your own choice. It's like I'm me. If you enjoy me, so be it. But if you don't, like I don't know what else to do. I can't change you, and I'm not going to change myself to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like, and I don't know about you guys, but I think for me, because I think I've certainly had that element to my personality. I don't think to a very
like a people pleaser.
Yeah, but I don't think to a super strong degree. But I've definitely been through parts of my life where it's like you do concern yourself, like I want other people to like me or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in school and stuff. I think with age that kind of just starts to erode. Like
yeah.
Bothered anymore.
I feel like I care more now than ever, but okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, I care more about wishing I had the skills. I'm like, oh, I don't have those skills.
Oh, I wish there's a lot of skills I wish I had. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
But do you know what I think most people, what I'm starting to notice, I think most people resonate with is being genuine. Because almost everyone is walking around with a facade.
Right.
A lot of the time, you don't want people to see your dirty. And there are things you can't express to certain people that you don't trust, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people do seem to respect it when people are open and honest, right?
Yeah.
You just got to be sometimes a little careful what you share with whom.
Well, and that's the whole irony of the whole thing, right? Because it's like people, it is endearing when people are vulnerable and all those things, because it's kind of brave, because they're like, man, I wish I could be so authentic. I could. And so that's why it can go either way. So it's either can endear someone to someone else if they're being vulnerable, or if they feel threatened, then now you just now you just showed a vulnerability, and then they're going to be happy to throw you under the bus for that.
Well, it's like in the setting, right? Too, right? So
but it's a risk. But that's why it's scary to do it, is because it is a risk, and that's why people admire people who are vulnerable, because it takes courage to be vulnerable, because you're taking a risk. So really, it's like, I think when you're being vulnerable with people, in order for it to really work well, like, I look at times in my life where I would be like, I was vulnerable in a good way. I had like really great core people around me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I could be vulnerable with any other people that I maybe didn't have like a super close relationship with, but I knew that no matter what they said or thought of me or did to me, I had this like solid group of people around me that would have my back no matter what. Right. Whereas if you don't have that solid group of people, that's when it's
it's really tough, because it's a desire I think everyone has. I think everyone would just love to be able to be themselves and not worry about getting thrown under the bus. But people are judgmental, and people do attack you for certain things.
For any reason.
And there are certain things I think you can't express in a positive, like you have negative things that we do need to change, right? There are problems like if I have a violent temper, that's not something I should just be willing to express. I can't just express it and punch people every time I get angry. Yeah. But I should be able to say, hey, look, I have this problem, I need help, without being, I don't have a violent temper. I'm just throwing this as an example. But somebody with that sort of an issue, okay, it's something you can't freely express because it hurts other people, but you should be able to share it with people so that they can help you get through it.
Right. And I think that's why when you find people you are comfortable being vulnerable with, you feel like that's how like really good friendships form.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because then all of a sudden when you have someone where you're like, wow, I can share this stuff with them, and I feel safe sharing this stuff with them, and then that's what makes you really care about that person.
Now, this reminds me of a study that I read a few years ago on like marriage relationships that I thought was really interesting, because it's kind of counterintuitive. They said one marker of, well, I guess it could be good or bad, but one marker of a lot of positive relationships they found was the ability for them to tease each other. And they said the
nailing it.
Each other, yeah. But get to this. So they said the reason they think it can be a good sign is because it's when you're teasing someone and that person knows, like, they trust you, that you're not going to actually say something harmful to them, like that will hurt them. They'll let you tease them. It allows you to be vulnerable with that person. It's a way of showing your vulnerability by letting them tease you. But if that person doesn't know where the boundaries are and they cross the line, it breaks your trust with them. So it can be risky too, right? So it's like, there's healthy teasing, but you really got to have that trust and understanding built up.
That's very unhealthy teasing.
Yeah.
Unhealthy teasing.
No.
Ever does unhealthy teasing.
Yeah. Steve, you're fat.
Yeah. Oh. It's such a fine line, right? Between like vulnerability and abuse, right?
It can be. I mean, we actually talk about this quite often because I'm quite thin-skinned. Well, at least I used to be.
We went through quite a journey on this topic.
Yeah.
Like when we first started dating, because our house is very unfiltered.
Yeah.
We tease each other, right? Like it's like super, and and so when I first started dating Steve, like he was really sensitive, and I would say things and I was just teasing, and he got really, really sensitive about it. So it kind of turned into this like, do not tease each other ever.
Well, I think like you said,
we completely
you said, Bryant, it's like you gotta, because when we were fresh, right? Like when Amber and I started first dating, it's like you didn't know. I didn't know what it would take before all of a sudden she would just turn and leave. Like at any given moment, in my mind, I was like, she could just end this thing that I have dreamt about my whole life, and finding a wonderful person to be with, and blah 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 blah, right? But then all of a sudden you get to a certain point where you're like, she ain't going anywhere. Like, I'm the best, right? Like, she'd be a fool to leave this awesome man. And then all of a sudden it's like the confidence level's like through the roof, and now
now he's teasing me like crazy.
But no, wait, but you're right too. But it's like, I also know it's a joke. Like, she'll say something that if it was at the beginning of the relationship would have wildly offended me.
Even though it would have been a joke still.
Yeah, even though it was the same, it would have been the same joke. Now I would I could laugh so hard I'd cry. You know what I mean? Like happy tears, not sad tears, but like but you know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, because it's, to me now, it's funny because I know she's coming from a place of love, and it is just a quick poke, you know what I mean? And it's like, so yeah, I totally see what you're saying. Like, I that study totally makes sense to me.
I had a kind of a weird experience with Amber and Janice, because I think there was a short time back in my 20s where I said, you know what, because we've always grown up teasing each other, and I think for a very, very, very brief time I was like, you know what, I'm only going to be nice to them from now on.
For a very brief time.
Really, they hated.
Were you sleeping?
You guys, I don't know if I ever told you that's what I was doing, but you and Janice both would just make comments like it was really making you uncomfortable. So it didn't last very long. I was like, okay, that's
I've told you how wonderful you two are.
It's
I
just
feel like Brian's gonna murder me now that he's so nice all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's like, what's going on? It's like their alarm started going off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I saw, like, a few years later, I found that I read that study. I'm like, okay, but I can see that too, though. It's like, because even when I'm close to, like, teasing, it's part of the fun of how you interact, the banter.
It's like you're there.
You have to know what the boundaries are. Like, you don't tease them about this, or they're not a good.
Yeah.
Now is not a good time to do that. To say that.
Yeah.
Like if they're down in the dumps, maybe build up.
Yeah. Maybe don't talk about something they're really down about.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But like, I mean, but that's the other thing about being like either in a relationship or being best friends with this person, right?
Because then you can pick up on it and you will know.
But then even then too, it's like when they're down, it's like you can sense it, like almost right from the word go. Like they pick up the phone, you're like, you're having an off day, and they haven't even said hello yet. You can just tell by the sigh in their voice or something. And then it's like, it's like,
how they're doing.
I'm gonna be this way to try to kilter you back to normal. That's how at least my brain works. I'm like, all right, what do I need to do to get you back on track? I guess that's where the people pleasing comes in, right?
That is how you
But I think that's healthy people pleasing, though.
Well, and I think it is too. Like, I don't think
you're in tune with people.
Yeah.
You're trying to help them. Yeah, it's healthy.
Bad people pleasing would be like, hey Steve, let's go play Russian roulette. It's really
you go first. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to go first, Brian. I always have to go first. No thanks. Yeah, no, I totally, absolutely, right? Like, and there is a difference between healthy and non-healthy people pleasing.
Well, and I think that's like when you meet new people and there's that ice, I think it's because you don't know what their like no zones are, because everyone has, because like you can tease people, and then once you know them well, like what's off limits.
Yeah.
Like with new people, you're like, oh, like you have to kind of hold that stuff in a bit. Even if you like naturally would tease someone, you have to just kind of be like, oh, I don't think we're there yet, because I don't know if they are sensitive with this subject.
I think this is also why it's like really uncomfortable when you're around people that seem to get upset by everything. Like, and you feel like, because you can never be vulnerable with them, right? Somebody that like lashes out at any little thing, you can never open yourself up and be vulnerable, because it's like you're just gonna get lashed at.
Totally. But then I have to think of my hypersensitive stuff. So it's like, because like everyone has their stuff that they're hypersensitive about, right? So like Chicky, she's hypersensitive about freedom, right?
I was gonna say, this all sounds like MT there.
Yeah, like MT.
Well, it is,
yeah. So
yeah, I think this
yeah,
is
so like
something
she's
MT needs to work on.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like she's hypersensitive about food. But it's like me, because it's like overall, I consider myself pretty easygoing. Like
You're
I'm
pretty
like,
chill.
well, I'm pretty chill. However, even me though, I have my hypersensitive subjects that like people, if they don't know me, can come up against it, and because mine is critical. Like, you know, I hate judgment and rejection and all those things. So when people are really critical of other people unnecessarily, it like shuts me down. And I know it's my hypersensitivity, and I feel kind of bad about it because I don't really know how not to be. But I'm a bit of a diva with that subject, and I feel like I'm that easily offended person that people are going to be uncomfortable around, when really it's just people
But I think everybody's gonna have a couple things like that. I don't think that's
yeah, and I
but
do.
you and I both know people where it's like you just always feel like they can just go off. Right?
Everything's a time. Yeah,
Like there's just time. Some people are just time bombs, and you can never be vulnerable with that sort of a person.
Right.
You just can never relax around them.
Yeah.
So Steve's pretty chill in my experience. Steve's never gone off on me. As much as you wanted, I could see it in his eyes.
Hold me back, Emma. Hold me back.
Can I share? So Steve, so just edit this out if Steve
What?
doesn't want me to share. No, it's
Huh.
good. It's good.
What?
It's good. Steve has a great poker face though. So like when if something's going on and I'm like, oh, would this make Steve uncomfortable? And I'll like check over, and like Steve is so good at like, this is fantastic. We're having such a good time, like, people pleasing. And then as soon as like that person leaves, he's like, that was awful. You know, so. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I so would have swooped and like saved the situation, but I was checking in and he seemed so genuinely comfortable that I couldn't have predicted that it was something that he was not enjoying as much as it looked like.
You guys need a signal for those sorts of situations.
Yeah. Pineapple juice.
Wait, what is your signal? Just so I know.
Yeah. Pineapple juice.
Next time I go to your house, pineapple juice, Amber.
Yeah.
Pineapple
I think Steve could do with some pineapple juice. As your dad's talking to me, as our noses are touching each other. Pineapple juice. Pineapple juice. No, I don't know. It's I don't know. That's just how we are. Like my parents are the same. I think my brother is kind of the same in a way. Like if he's in a situation where he doesn't know people, like know those people, it's just like, wow, I'm wildly uncomfortable, but
I don't want to let it off. And so they all have
myself,
really good poker faces.
I'm gonna try and make myself look not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to do that, you know, I even at work, if I'm working with the public, I gotta do
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
But
want to.
are you good at it?
No, I think I am. I get a lot of compliments on how I deal with clients.
Okay. But I mean,
really
so you're
not dealing with clients.
got ya. Because I just mean like, are you good at the poker face? Because my thing is that like, I would totally be fake and act through things if I was good at it.
Well, I just
I
do my
don't do
job.
it because I'm so bad.
Well, it's practice too, because like Bryant and I are in very public facing jobs where it's like for me in my
public
life
facing jobs, and
Yeah,
I've
but-
never felt like it's an issue though.
Yeah, I guess. No, I think you're good at it to a point, but then I think there's a point where you can't fake it anymore. Actually, I'm even kind of getting to a bit of a point myself where it's just like, you know, instead of being like, hey, how's it going? Oh, yeah. I'm just like,
Like burnout, like when you're like, hey.
Yeah, you get burned out after a while.
you do, yeah. And like, I mean, like with my job, I
What's
mean, I'm
emotional
very,
work? Like
Yeah.
like acting and like all that stuff. Well, because for me, generally, and that's why it's just nice, you know, anyway, because generally it's just easy to be happy. But like if you're in a situation where you have to be happy and you're absolutely not happy, that's
I think
that's so
it's less
bad.
for me because I don't have to do that. So I don't think I'm ever acting. Like I'm not being fake. I'm just getting the job done. Because I think I'm normally pleasant. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're easily, yeah,
The way when I'm dealing with a client, I'm just being my normal.
yourself. Right. And the only time that it's hard though is like if like, I don't know if you go.
My job, we're not even expected to be nice. Like, you know, some jobs, like if you're a server in a restaurant,
Yeah.
you gotta put that smile on for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
like,
for me.
but like but like I've been a server and I don't find it hard to put it like, you know, to smile with people. The only time I don't like it is if like
they're aggressive or rude.
yeah, well, like, okay, yeah, like, okay, the times that I find it hard is like if something really hard is going on in my life, like if someone just died or, you know, something really hard is going on personally and I have to, like, you know, and because usually me, if that's me, if I was a server and like someone really close to me just died and I have to go to work, I probably just won't be extra happy. I'll be fine. I'll be pleasant enough and I'll be, you know, I'll do my job. I won't be grumpy or angry with people, but I'll probably be like quieter and more to myself and not smiling and jumping in everyone's face about that day or, you know, for a while possibly. And so what I don't like is that if I'm just kind of chill, not angry, but just like chill, and then people try to push you or like give you a hard time for not being happy or not being perky and engaging and filling all the ice and doing all those things, and then people get annoyed with me if I'm not doing that. That annoys me a lot because I'm like, hey, you don't know what's going on in my life.
I never judge my customer service based on how chipper they are. It's like, yeah, I know it sucks. Somebody, you know, you're doing a public job, you're a lot of jerks. I don't expect you to be chipper all day long.
Yeah, because to me, I feel like if my server's chipper, cool, gravy.
Great.
And if not, like they're a human being with a regular life.
I just, as long as it doesn't look like they spit in anything, yes, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just don't feel, I just don't know why. I find it so obnoxious how it seems to be some people really seem to struggle with pushing, trying to like push other people to be really friendly with them.
Yeah.
When they haven't even been friendly, you know, they haven't even said hi. They haven't even done
this is another tie back to MT, because that was one of her issues, is people trying to make her do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
MT, yeah, I share that struggle.
She's also very aggressive, like right off.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think she's still emotionally immature.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, or okay, yeah, okay. So immature, but I just mean like some people, just the way they're built, their fuse is shorter.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. In some situations, it's probably handy to have some people with a short fuse.
Well, this is why Inside Out's such a good movie. You guys have seen Inside Out, right? Because it's like they have the anger guy in there, but they actually explain like he has a job, there's a function for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And somebody pointed out, I was watching somebody doing like it was kind of like this, like a reaction discussion sort of video on Inside Out. And she had noted that the dad in Inside Out, his brain is run by like anger. It's like his main emotion, but he was still a very nice person, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like she thought that was really cool to see.
Right.
It's like, you know, the mom's run by sadness. So it's like, yeah, that anger has value. It just has to be controlled. But I think that's with most emotions.
Yeah. It's because I think of like
yeah, but wait a second. But is that like as you get older, the one emotion kind of takes over more? Well, like it, because all his angers were all different colors, remember?
No,
I think they mature.
No, the bus driver only had angers, but the dad had one of each emotion, but anger was like the boss.
Right? Oh yeah.
And that's what happens. Like as you age, they kind of find who's the leader.
Well, I think even in the girl though, like her main, like Joey was the boss in her brain.
Right? As a kid, but didn't the blue one and then Joy like they
what
like
happened is I think Joy was still the boss, but she learned to value sadness.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, because I felt like maybe sadness was gonna start like bumping up.
Maybe because her mom's main emotion.
Her mom was blue.
Yeah. So I think that's it's possible, sure. But I feel like I don't know. I'll have to watch it again. But yeah, but you're right. It probably it's easily could probably shift throughout your life.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, okay, so my theory is I do think that people tend to be cut from a certain cloth. Like there's nature and nurture,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I do feel like you are kind of cut from a certain cloth, and your nature can definitely influence that, though, or your nurture can influence that. But then you grow older, and then all that matures. So even if anger is in your leader, like the leader in your brain, you've learned how to like handle anger and like how to manage your anger. And then I think that once you get really old, your brain starts, then you're back to like being easily angered, like once you get like older and your mind's going.
I don't know, because I know a lot of really chill older people. I do remember you and Janice really had an incident with some of our neighbors in remember in Calgary when we lived in that one house, and you and Janice met this nice, what you thought was a nice old couple across the street, but they were really, really mean to you guys.
Were they?
Yeah.
Block it out.
This would have been like when you and Steve first started dating.
Like how mean is mean? I remember cute little old people using their cuteness to
I remember one specific incident. It was a couple I never met. I just remember one specific incident when you or Janice were saying that this couple had yelled at you for something, and you would thought they looked such like a nice, sweet older couple.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's like 20, 25 years ago.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I find that as people like get quite old, they kind of digress back into like the less mature. Like if anger is like their head person, they're just angry easier, or or sadness or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Good question. I'll let you know when I get there.
Who do you think's driving you, Bryant?
I think more joy than
disgust.
It's definitely not disgust. Definitely not anger. It's definitely it's probably joy.
Yeah.
But I do struggle with joy sometimes too.
Of course.
But it's more than the other ones. It's not fear. Yeah, it's not the other ones for sure.
Yeah. I'm blue for sure. I'd say blue and then joy. What do you think?
Blue being sadness.
Sadness, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think I'm sadness?
No, because maybe I don't know, but like
I'm not a sad person.
No,
I'm not a sad person.
I'm
just saying
say you're driven by sadness, because I mean,
but I like
is the boss in your brain.
But yeah, like, but I really care. Like I can watch other people. Like if someone's going through something hard or like suffering or something, I can see other people just not be fazed about it. And I'm just, to me, I'm not built that way. Like if someone's suffering and then I'm invested, like, I'm noticing, I care. Like I have a hard time just carrying on as though they're not having a hard time.
Yeah.
Whereas I can notice other people do. Other people are like, oh, that person's having a hard time, and they just can carry on with their lives as though they aren't. And I have a hard time with that, which is why I feel like blue.
Yeah, this is driving. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Blue is driving.
Steve?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Your brain.
Who's driving Steve?
You don't want it though. There was an emotion that wasn't in that.
Evil.
It was evil.
Yeah.
You ever watched The Exorcism? It's kind of like that, but more in control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my demons have made peace. We're like this now,
Yeah.
When I'm just tuning out, and then they just take over. Like, hey, calm down. I just gotta I'm just like that angry neighbor with the broom, like, calm down, demons. And they're like, oh, okay, better reel it in a bit.
See, I think Steve's joy, but he's also pretty blue. You're not blue like me. Like I take on other people's stuff. But Steve's you care about people. He thinks he doesn't, but he does.
Care about people and still be driven by joy. I like to think I care about people.
No, I know, but that anyway, like I'm not saying you,
I know what Amber's saying.
yeah, like you have a blue quality to you.
Rage.
No, like if someone's going through a hard time, like you're kind of thinking like, what can I do to help?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but like I don't know. That could be also a selfish thing too, because it's like if they're going through a hard time and it's going to affect me, it's like this is why my brain has shifted like this.
Well, that's the maturing part.
I told Amber this. It's like she's like, "Oh, you're so great with the people you work with. They all tend to really like working with you." And like every job I've had, like people, they've always said like the biggest one I had was when I worked at the zoo, and like when I left, like I ran into my old boss, and he was just like, "Dude, like why did you leave?" I was like, because I was moving forward with my life, you know. And then he was just like, "You left and it was like the whole place fell apart. People started quitting. Nobody was happy anymore." I'm like, "Well, really?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, man. Like, I didn't know it was such a integral part to
but
the
he gets it a
organization."
lot. It is his like thing, his MO.
But for me though, it's like the thought process is like, if I can make the people that I'm with around me enjoy being here more, then I'll enjoy it more because they're enjoying it more. And then work doesn't feel as hard or as grueling. You know what I mean? And there was days where I literally like couldn't wait to get to work because it was like,
it was fun.
Yeah, because I'm like, man, I'm gonna be working with my friends, or I'm gonna be working with this person today, and I hope we get to work together, you know? And like, yeah, it just like bonds this team together, like this unlikely cluster of people that maybe would have been very cliquey, or you know, it's like, well, these 2 or 3 hang out with themselves, and then these guys don't. And then like for me, I'm just like, well, if we just bring everybody together, yeah, and then all of a sudden everybody's together and we're all laughing and going out, and, you know. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I mean, like,
I think that's Steve's magic though. He loves like the team thing. He loves like, cause like, I mean, obviously I can't, like, I like to do what I can to make it a good place, but I'm because I'm more of like a backstage person. I can just be like, I like to create, I like being creative, and sometimes I'll just go into my own head, and then I'm not like not being social because I don't like people. I'm just, that's my mode. Like it's like, and I'll be social when I'm feeling social, but if I spend a long period of time somewhere, I'm gonna have to go into my natural mode sometimes, and I think it can come across like I'm not being social, but really I'm just thinking.
I think I like to think, okay, I think that I'm one of the people that makes work a happier place, at least a little bit.
Imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
But the team thing I don't think is me. I like being like a freelancer who gets to work with the team sometimes.
That's what I like too. Yeah. So like, yeah, that like for me, because I would definitely say I'm an introvert, but like I still love and look forward to people.
Yeah.
It's just I don't like it past my point.
Well, something that's come up at my work is I get along, like I love my work. Everybody I work with is actually really great. I like everybody at work, but I still really want to go home at the end of the day.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, stay out. And sometimes they're like, hey, wait, everybody, some people are still not quite ready. Why don't you stick around with the team? I'm like, I don't care.
Right. And you're like, I don't mean to be anti-social, but
because it's home time.
Yeah.
Look at my watch even says home time. No, I'm the same way too though, Bryant.
Yeah,
like I mean, like I'll get home from the end of the day and I'm just like, and Amber's like, I want to talk, I want to this, and I'm like, I can't. Like I can't.
I let you be alone a lot.
No, she does, but like I mean, there was a time where like you didn't. It was like Steve's home, woo! And I was like, no, like my body has walked in the door, but my mind is
Yeah.
and you
Which
can't.
is fair. I think it's super fair because I very much relate. If I've like spent too much time with people, I'm like,
I think that happened. This is probably a little bit too. You've been together so long now too. I remember one lady at work was talking about how like when they first got married, like she'd always go and pick up her husband at the airport. And it's like now she's like, now he's taking a cab home and he'd better bring me a Toblerone.
I don't think we'd get. I'm hoping we wouldn't get that far. I think I'd still pick Amber up for sure, but yeah, I guess yeah. If you were like flying every day, I'd be like, cab it.
All right, well, I think that's good for now. I'm going to stop recording here.
All right.
So thanks for anyone out there who may have joined us today.
Thanks, everyone.